5 mass extinctions, 4 eons, over 3 billion years of life, more than 2 million years of human evolution, 1 Earth. Of all the creatures that have walked before us, the footprint we leave behind is the most devastating. Pollution, deforestation, fossil fuel consumption, sea level rise. Through our actions, we set into motion a series of catastrophes unlike the world has ever seen. After generations of environmental carelessness, we now face the reality that if something doesn't change soon, we may find ourselves without a home. Luckily for us, there are hundreds of thousands of people who have dedicated their lives to undoing the mistakes of the past. A new generation of these environmental warriors find their start every year at different colleges around the globe. Florida Tech is one school hoping to foster a culture that makes students excited about practicing sustainability and to send them into the world eager to do their part. 12 years ago, an exciting new idea emerged from the minds of Dr. Gordon Nelson, Dr. Thomas Marcinkowski, and Dr. Richard Aronson. Together, the three planted the seed of a sustainability program at Florida Tech, which has since grown into a thriving ecosystem of sustainable practices. Marcinkowski and Aronson had the job of creating a sustainability minor for Florida Tech students. When developing the program, they had one goal in mind: to make sure that all aspects of sustainability were represented, so that it was accessible to all students, no matter their major. Those aspects were the environmental side, the economic side, and the social side. By balancing all three of these elements, Marcinkowski and Aronson were able to create a well-balanced program that was available to all students. After they accomplished their goal, the two sought someone to help them develop the curriculum.
That program was approved in 2010, so it's now about 12 years ago, and eventually Dr. Lindemann was hired in to take over student advising for students in that minor.
In the summer of '09, early summer, I was asked to develop the curriculum for a sustainability minor based on a very smart and solid document that Drs. Aronson and Marcinkowski generated with that larger work group.
Dr. Lindemann took on the role as the leader of sustainability at Florida Tech. In addition to helping the program sprout, he has assisted in several sustainability initiatives on and off campus. A large part of these sustainability initiatives were led by the students.
And from the very beginning, one of the formal requirements has been a senior capstone research project that involved 2 different classes in the fall and spring semester. A remarkable diversity of projects over the years. We've encouraged interdisciplinary, or even, some folks like to say transdisciplinary thinking using the system science skills that we unpack in the Introduction to Sustainability class and also the Deep Systems class.
The projects done by these students were often projects that wanted to make Florida Tech a more sustainable place. Some of the most significant projects are the work with LEED certified buildings. LEED, or Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, is a rigorous certification program that determines how green a building is. Buildings tend to be massive sites of energy consumption and pollution. Programs like LEED help push society to be more environmentally conscious. Right now, Florida Tech is the home of 2 of these certified buildings.
So, these projects for the LEED building certifications over the years at Florida Tech have been aided by student sustainability capstone senior research projects that are required by both the minor and the major. So the 2 buildings that were certified via student actions in their capstone projects are the Scott Center for Autism Treatment and also the Panther Aquatic Center.
There was a lot of work that went into making these buildings a reality, and the payoff is an achievement in engineering.
The Panther Aquatic Center is really interesting. This took like 3 years of student projects where the first core group of students worked on a variety of certification credits, energy efficiency, materials efficiency, etc. And were not able, of course, to complete it all. and passed it on to a second generation of students who worked on it, and then the third generation finished it off working with facilities.
Pools require lots of different elements to be run. They need energy to keep it heated, chemicals to clean it, and of course, a lot of water. Simply heating a pool is a highly energy inefficient process and produces a large carbon footprint. Another building on campus, the Flourished Alumni Center, continues to push Florida Tech in a more sustainable direction. The building has recently been rebuilt as a zero-energy building. This past March, it received the Clean Energy Award by the City of Melbourne Beautification and Energy Efficiency Board. Some key features for the highly energy-efficient building include overhang shades, an LED lighting system, a weather station, solar power generation, and an updated HVAC system. The philosophy behind these buildings and making Florida Tech a more sustainable place have even extended into the day-to-day operations of the campus.
In the very early days of the sustainability minor and major and the associated campus programs, we've worked really unusually closely for an academic program, arguably, with the facilities operations folks.
As the years went on, the projects done by students continued to grow larger in scale. The senior capstone research projects have gone from smaller scale projects within a university to more municipal level work. By working in cities, sustainability students have gained real-world experience, which inspired attitudes for solving even more complex problems. There are a number of threats that we currently face as a result of environmental recklessness, and time is of the essence. An especially concerning problem that we must overcome is sea level rise. As our planet has continued to warm from human interference, glaciers and ice sheets have begun melting at alarming rates. Coastal areas, such as Florida, face the most immediate risk to sea level rise. Students like Alex want to tackle these problems in a sustainable way.
So a lot of coastal engineering in the next, say, like 30 to 50 years is going to need to be done. I think the estimate is like $500 billion are going to need to be spent on coastal engineering to deal with sea level rise by 2050. There's a lot of ways you could help deal with like sea level rise, but definitely, like, I'd like to work on sustainable ways to help with it, like by adding like wetlands or mangroves, rather than just like adding a seawall, because the seawall is going to eventually degrade and it erodes the beaches.
These issues are important, and with so much to do, it's vital that we remain active and try our hardest to make the world a more sustainable place. Currently, Alex and his teammate, Namarik, are working to improve sustainability efforts in the town of Indialantic. Together, the two are creating a sustainability action plan that tackles different environmental challenges.
I was really interested in working for a town because I feel like the project is really going to have a meaningful impact on a lot of people, and it's going to the work I do is going to be around for a long time. Like, ideally, if this ordinance gets passed, hopefully forever, I guess it would be in the city code. So I really like the idea of having that impact. And additionally, my parents live in Indialantic, so it's something like close to home.
When Alex and Namarik were developing this plan, they discovered that public education is one of the biggest obstacles in the way of accomplishing their goals. To combat this issue, Namarik is working on social media platforms to increase awareness.
By having that social media platform out there, you can just post your content, post content such as sustainable practices, sustainable implementations, for example, also like meetings or anything about the town, anything sustainable that can be like put out there. Instead of having posters for it, a better solution would be kind of like to go green and just put it on social media.
Students working in the towns, with and without a fully developed action plan, have all shared that the lack of public outreach has been a challenge.
We have meetings the final Wednesday of every month, and there have been a grand total of 2 people who have attended from the public, so people don't know what we're doing.
Despite Lex's recent series of successes in developing sustainability initiatives for the city of Palm Bay, she said there's a big issue in communication. It's not just a lack of knowledge that gets in the way, though. People are comfortable with the way things are and don't want that to go away.
Yes, there are a lot of people who broadly support this, but then there are also people who they've been living this way for the past 6 decades. They like the way that they live. They like having their septic tanks instead of sewers. They are used to what they're used to, and change is uncomfortable.
These are issues that can be prevented by increasing public outreach. By spreading that awareness, more people can get involved and find comfort in the fact that their world won't be flipped upside down by these initiatives. Our actions alone, no matter how seemingly insignificant by themselves, can go a long way.
I think just be sensitive in everything you do and how it impacts the environment and how it will impact everyone going forward. So think about what you can personally do and what you can professionally do to model sustainability activities and actually put them into practice. You hear a lot of people say the right things, but do you actually practice them?
Because the work that's being done at Florida Tech shouldn't just end there. To make the world a greener place, it must go beyond.
Everything we see right now is like, okay, posters and all of that, but when it comes to actual sustainability practices and management, that's what I'm trying to take with me back home. So sustainability is currently practiced there, but it's not as we want it to be. And there is this Armand Vision 2040 that's trying to get more into sustainability practices, and that's the reason why I think like I can possibly assist into like integrating whatever I got here from my experience to take it with me back home.
Sustainability is a never-ending process, so I never say you're done. If we say that, then we truly are done. We're not going to advance, we're not getting better.
With so much left to do, the odds can seem stacked against us. But we must not be discouraged. There is hope.
Tends to be when they know and they understand and they know that this is something that is good for them, it's good for the environment, it's going to be good for the resale value of their homes, it's going to bring in tourists, which drums up money for the city, so that way they can do things for public good. It just, again, they know that in time this is going to be a fantastic opportunity, then they tend to support it, but you've got to let them know that, and that takes a couple of years. So start the fight now.
It's not just Florida Tech that has become more green because of their efforts. The city, the county, and even the world has changed for the better as students continue to take what they learned and bring it with them as they enter the next stage of their life. Florida Tech doesn't show any signs of slowing down when it comes to making the world more sustainable. The students and faculty involved will continue to work to make the campus and surrounding areas a better place.
Imagine the campus with clusters of solar tables when you come back in 3 or 4 years, and maybe some more zero energy buildings, and some more LEED buildings. So continuing the rock climbs we're doing in the certification processes. Florida Tech, the 21st century, it's NASA's university. We tend to be quite relentless across all of the majors and all of the programs and colleges on campus. So the future of sustainability at Florida Tech looks pretty bright, and looking forward to it.
From LEED certified buildings to green daily operations and even city work, the sustainability program at Florida Tech has accomplished so much in the past 12 years. And this is only the beginning. The seed that Dr. Marcinkowski and Dr. Aronson planted will continue to grow and branch out across the world as new generations of students find their start at Florida Tech.